If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again and welcome to episode number 117 of the Career Mode Road to Glory here on FIFA 15. We start with a home game in the Barclays Premier League against Crystal Palace, a side that can cause a few problems, especially when they're having such a good start to the season, as they are currently up in 4th, but we're having an equally good start as well, finding ourselves up in 2nd after 15 games. So this actually was going to be quite a difficult clash between two sides at the top of the table. We've got obviously our first team's strongest lineup out with Georgiev and Ranti up top, with Kieran Westwood in between the sticks, Bayerine at right back obviously, and new guy Andy Keller is actually growing quite nicely at left back. Obviously we'll have a closer look at the players' stats on Monday when we do a squad report, but they've got Roberto in goal. I wasn't sure which Roberto that was, whether it was the Spaniard that formerly used to be at Olympiacos, or whether it was a different Roberto. Whichever Roberto it was, he was a very good goalkeeper. But we're going to have the first chance here. As you can see, Georgiev is going to link up nicely with Ranti, trying to find a bit of space. Doesn't quite work, but it does drop back to Georgiev, tries to whip it into that bottom corner with his weaker right foot, and he's only a few inches away from actually finding that bottom corner and actually giving us a 1-0 lead. But Crystal Palace were very good on the counter-attack. Got Guediora in their starting lineup, out wide to Balassi here. Loads of space on the left-hand side. Not really too sure where Bayerine disappeared to. Guediora with the shot, hits the post, and it comes back out. Fortunately for me, lands straight at the feet of the defender, and not of the awaiting striker in the box as well. But Joel Ward was inside the right back again here. Bayerine's positioning is really terrible, but then unfortunately, we gave away a penalty. So I was a bit set back by that. It wasn't the best. Well, it wasn't a deliberate challenge. It was just a heavy touch by the winger. I think it was Balassi actually on the other side. It was, and he comes in here, Spaller, and he just straight up runs into him, can't sort his feet out in time, takes him out. I guess technically it is a penalty. Gutierrez steps up to take it, but that is one of the worst penalties I've ever seen on career mode. Teo Gutierrez with a woeful effort. So we stay at 0-0. We get a little bit of a let-off with that penalty, and we try and get ourselves the lead now rather than getting an equaliser. But Ranti's through here, and a brilliant save by Roberto. No idea how he was able to react there. I even slowed down to purposefully find this time and space to ensure I got the finish, and it still didn't work. Great reactions from the goalkeeper, and they're going to get a good cross in here actually, and a brilliant header, but our goalkeeper is on hand as well to make some good saves. Good handling there from Kieran Westwood, but made a couple of changes as we headed deeper into the second half. As you can see, 2 changes to the centre of midfield, with Adarabio coming on and Gabbiadini as well, hoping that he can actually have a decent game. He's been growing quite nicely as well, as has Aquadar, the man that he replaced. But Ranti up to Georgiev here, trying to get ourselves in front here if we possibly can. Georgiev inside, settles himself on his left, and we do finally have ourselves a 1-0 lead. Thank you, Mr. Roberto, for finally letting the ball pass you and into the back of the net. Then 2 minutes later, Williams is going to pass the ball inside here to Morales. Nice bit of dribbling from him, gets it back to Barry Bannon via a teammate. Back to O'Keefe again. Playing the ball about really nicely here, Crystal Palace. They couldn't quite keep up with their passing play. Martin Kelly down the right-hand side. Poor cross though, but equally poor clearance. Barry Bannon quickly gets it back into the box, and on the first time volley, Morales makes it 1-1. Pretty much immediately after we've gone 1-0 in front. We spent so long trying to get that goal to go 1-0 up, and then we gave the lead away immediately and ended up with a point anyway. So regardless, a decent-ish game. We were showing some promising sides there. A good performance against a side that are clearly doing well this season. They are in form, Crystal Palace, so it's not too much of a disappointment, although obviously with the circumstances of the game and finally being able to grind ourselves to that 1-0 lead, I would have liked to have held on to it. We come up against a Sunderland side here that's pretty much unrecognisable from the in real life Sunderland side that obviously they're playing right now in the Premier League. But we are in the 5th season, so you would expect a few transfers, but only really Jack Rodwell and Lee Catamol remain from the first team that they have in this real-life 2014-2015 season. So big changes at Sunderland. Obviously, to be fair, our side is completely different and nobody remains from our initial starting 11. So to be fair, things have changed with us as well. But we have actively had to go out of our way to rise up the leagues, although I guess they may have had to actively go out of their way to try and stay in the division as well. But this was actually a very slow game. The rain didn't help. Cassidy with the first shot draws a good save out of Pickford, and Schmidt had actually picked up a yellow card card earlier on in the game, couldn't quite get to the rebound. It was well pushed away by Pickford, but Schmidt was played in here in the second half. He's left-footed, Kevin Schmidt, so I wanted to turn inside to either have a shot or get it off to a teammate. He did find Cassida, and he fires it into the bottom corner to make it 1-0 to Cambridge United. Delighted to actually have the lead in this game, considering they were probably the only two shots worth showing you to this point in the game, hence why they are the only two shots that I have shown you to this point in the game. But we're pushing further forward, trying to get ourselves a second if we could. A second, you would say, would probably seal the game, considering how few chances there were. You see, we're already into the 82nd minute, and we do pick up a penalty. He's tugged down in the box. The strike, I think it was Kevin Schmidt actually racing away, and he had his shirt tugged by the defender. You'll see from the replay, just on the bottom right hand side of his shirt, as he's trying to hold him off. Actually, it was Cassida in the box, and you see him just pulling the shirt there as he gets into the box, trying to get him out of the way. Definite penalty, definite foul as he pulled his shirt, and Cassida was going to take the penalty himself. Didn't quite manage to stop it in the green, but he did put it into the back of the net. Regardless, we get a 2-0 lead in the 85th minute, and it looked as if we were going to be cruising towards all 3 points here at the Stadium of Light. We were going to have one final chance to perhaps catch them on the counter-attack and get a third. Kevin Schmidt racing away. Goal difference could be important at the end of the season when trying to finish in those European positions, but we only get a +2, not a +3, because unfortunately Kevin Schmidt wasn't able to put that into the back of the net. But never mind. 2-0 win. And we'll take that 3 points after picking up a point against Crystal Palace. Would have preferred 6, but we'll have to settle for 4 as we head into the third and final game of the episode. Away from home again, this time at Goodison Park, away from the northeast in the second game to the northwest in the third. It's Everton away from home. They're actually a decent side. I unfortunately skipped the team lineup, so I do apologise, but I'm starting my main starting 11 in this one, the same side that started against Crystal Palace. But they actually have a very strong side. They've got Salomon Rondon up top, and Luke Garbutt has progressed really nicely, puts in a brilliant ball here, and that man, Salomon Rondon, rises above my defender, who for some reason didn't even bother to jump. I was quite annoyed, actually. The man at the front post, I think it's Cardosa, just doesn't jump. Salomon gets the run on him. Perhaps he was just taken aback by the fact he was surprised by the man coming over his shoulder. Doesn't matter how it happened, though. The fact that it did happen means that we're 1-0 down. But Ranti gets a good turn in here and shows good pace to then get it back across to Guerrezo, and he can't quite find the angle to find that top corner. I was looking for a finish from the edge of the box into the top corner to bring ourselves back on level terms at 1-1. Ross Barkley and Brian Oviedo linking up nicely here as they push forward towards the half-hour mark. And we tried a shot from the edge of the box to find the top corner, couldn't do it. Salomon Rondon can. A brilliant finish from him. And he's the difference so far. Just out and out pure quality up top with him in this game. 2 exquisite goals. The header was very, very well timed, and that shot from the edge of the box was just absolutely incredible. So much power on it, the goalkeeper could do absolutely nothing about it. So Georgiev trying to get us back in it here. Ranti gets past one challenge, skips over the second, squeezes it underneath the goalkeeper, but he can't get it over the line. Not enough pace on it. Did really well to avoid the challenges. Perhaps could have gone down and won us a penalty there if he decided to do so. He's through one-on-one here, though. Missed a chance against Crystal Palace in a situation similar to this, and he's done it again here. I tried, like I did in the Palace game, to just settle myself and make sure that I could just tidily slot it underneath the goalkeeper, but unfortunately the past 2 times I've done that, the striker's actually lifted the ball off the floor, which is not what I want him to do. I want him to just, kind of daisy cutter it into the bottom corner, and he hasn't done that, and it's given the goalkeepers an opportunity in the first game and the third game here to make decent saves, which is exactly what they did. And that could have changed the game if we'd made it 2-1 there, but as it turned out, Everton were going to push forward and get even better in this second half, playing the ball around us here in our own box. Ross Barkley, nice little back heel to Lukaku, and he hits the base of the post. Really lucky not to have gone 3-0 down there, but we're going to try and get ourselves a consolation goal if we possibly could here in the 85th, 86th minute. Ranti slotting through Georgiev, obviously left-footed, turns onto that left foot really nicely, but the shot is straight at Joel, and perhaps I could have tried to go for the top corner the same way as Rondon, but just don't have the quality of Salomon Rondon in my front line right now, unfortunately. We haven't quite reached that stage in our Road to Glory career, but we have reached top of the table and maintained it for the past 2 or 3 episodes. Of course, a defeat and a draw in today's games, as well as the victory against Sunderland. And actually, the 2-0 defeat against Everton wipes out the 2-0 we got against Sunderland goal difference-wise as well, but still 2 points clear of Arsenal, and we are 1 game away from being exactly halfway through the season. So really, really pleased with how things are going so far. We have like I always say, this season drastically improved the squad. And obviously with the squad we had last year, 10th was a decent finish. And I think a European spot, maybe a Champions League spot this year with Cambridge United is definitely on the cards. Although we are going to have to maintain our good form for the rest of the season. And obviously we won't have the opportunity to improve too much in January due to finances we kind of spent out in the summer transfer window. So we don't have much money left to improve the side. So I may have to rely on perhaps some pre-contract signings if I've got enough money to bring some players in. If not, we'll perhaps use that money to go towards a youth scout or a couple of youth players that we've got in the that my youth scouts are out looking at right now, to bring them in to potentially call them up in May at the end of the season. But that will bring today's episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I will be streaming FIFA 15 over on twitch.tv/Chesnoy Gaming later on tonight as well, so check the channel page for that, and the link in the description as well, and that will take you over to Twitch. I'm probably live in about half an hour as you're seeing this, if you're watching it when it comes out. If not, I'm probably already live if you're watching this a little bit later. But regardless, links are in the description to my Twitch and to my Twitter. But follow those, follow me, and I will see you next time.